What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Matt Talks Films. I am back with another video. I am back with another review, and this time I'm talking about Darren Aronofsky's newest release in Caught Stealing, starring Austin Butler, starring Zoe Kravitz, and also featuring a very well star-studded cast to accompany those two. On paper, the cast is really great. However, I am quite disappointed. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of The Whale, Darren Aronofsky's latest picture before this one, despite it having major Oscar buzz and despite it having a really, really monstrous performance by Brendan Fraser. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I thought it was pure Oscar bait, and I really did not like the movie. So I was hoping this movie would be better, way better than The Whale, and more my style. However, I regret to inform you, I'm really disappointed in this movie. It's a big disappointment, and honestly, probably the biggest disappointment of the year for me. I really like Darren Aronofsky. I love The Wrestler, and I really, really like Requiem for a Dream. He is a really good filmmaker, and I am disappointed with his last two pictures. Now, before I get into this movie fully, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me everywhere at Matt Talks Films for more content like this. Hopefully, I see you there. Now, anyway, what is this movie about? Austin Butler plays Hank, a former baseball player who is done with baseball now because of his own actions. He got in a DUI, rupturing his knee and ruining his leg, and also killing his best friend in the progress. So now he has no more baseball in his life, and he's moved from San Francisco to New York, and now he is a bartender. He has a girlfriend in Zoe Kravitz, and his neighbor, played by Matt Smith, has to go back to London to go see his dying father. In doing so, he asks Hank, aka Austin Butler, to watch his cat. Seems like it's not a big deal, but after Matt Smith's character ends up leaving, trouble starts to follow, thus leading into a great underworld that Austin Butler is now fully in, leading to death, chaos, and ultimate turmoil for the rest of his life. That's the movie, that's the script. And let me say this before I get into it fully. People are comparing this movie to After Hours, which is a masterpiece created by one of the greatest American filmmakers of all time, if not the greatest, in Martin Scorsese. To me, that is a lame comparison. That's like saying Mamma Mia is like Casablanca. It might be cut from the same cloth in romance, but it's nowhere related to Casablanca. Yes, this movie features an underworld. Yes, this movie features chaos. But the chaos and the underworld featured in After Hours not only feels like a realistic nightmare and night in the world of New York that year took place in, but it's a masterpiece created by one of the greatest American filmmakers of all time, and the acting is absurd in it, and the story is immensely great, and there's so much love about that film. So to compare that film, one of Martin Scorsese's best films, to one of Darren Aronofsky's worst films and Caught Stealing is an insult. And I think that's a really, really lethargic comparison to make here. And despite me understanding the comparison, I think it's a bullshit one at most. Caught Stealing almost fails in every way to me. Listen, it's not the worst film of the year, okay? It's just not. There's been worse films, but there's also been a lot better films than this one. I think this movie is at best a 2 out of 5. And that's sad to me because I really like the filmmaker and I really like the cast. Everyone from Austin Butler, Zoe Kravitz, to Action Bronson and Bad Bunny. Like, I like everybody in this movie. But this movie just fails to entertain and it fails to make me care, which sucks. The chaos that unfolds in this movie fails to interest me. The emotional parts of this movie fail to attach to me, and ultimately the only two things to pull away from this movie is Austin Butler gives a good performance and Zoe Kravitz gives a good performance and shares really good chemistry with Austin Butler, but she's not in the movie long enough, and honestly she deserved better because she's a really good actress, and one, she is fine as fuck. I think Zoe Kravitz is one of the most beautiful actors working right now. My god, the cinematic presence she has. Before I get out of hand, Zoe Kravitz, god damn it, you can do anything you want to me and I'll be fucking happy. Fucking wear spiked heels, walk all over my body. I could not care less because you are something special. And you know what? I wish you were in this movie more. Not because you are just beautiful, but because you are a really great actor. Austin Butler, he's good in this. Listen, but the only thing about this is he is good in this movie, but because this movie is so lackluster and so blah, his performance isn't going to be noteworthy because there's nothing to take away from this movie. Listen, this movie is about a flawed character in Hank, aka Austin Butler. He killed his best friend in a DUI accident. Despite it not being his fault, he was still drinking and he swerved out of the way of a cow and ran into a post. that led to his friend dying. He ruptured his knee, so he's no longer a baseball player like he once was projected to be. He was projected to be a first rounder and 15th overall pick. He is no longer that. To be honest, his character isn't written that well because I don't give a shit about his character. He was a horrible person, pretty much, a very flawed one. But they don't do enough to make me care about him. They just don't. And to me, that is a major flaw in this movie. Austin Butler is a very likable actor and a very likable person, but they don't write his character well enough for me to care about his character and the situation that he is in now. So it's kind of like, hey, this is a massive failure on the movie's part. I refused and was unable to get caught up in his character and make me feel for what his character was going through. I understand he was supposed to be this big baseball player that ruined his chances, but he ruined his own chances. He even got people killed in this movie who didn't deserve to be killed. I know it's not his fault, and he didn't choose to be in the situation. He's trying to run away from the situations that he was previously in his previous life, but ultimately he did. He got someone very close to him killed in this movie because he didn't go to the cops right away. Despite the cops ultimately ending up being crooked, he didn't go to the cops. So that's another major flaw. I think his character is not written well, and I think Austin Butler, despite giving a good performance, I wish he was able to give this type of performance in a different movie because this movie is not good and his character isn't written well. The action sequences in this movie, yes, the filmmaking is above competent because this is one of the best filmmakers in the world right now in Darren Aronofsky. So the filmmaking is going to be way more than competent, and the filmmaking here is more than competent. But the action sequences failed to move me, and just about everything else failed to move me. The rest of this cast is really stacked, and I felt nothing. Regina King, nothing of a performance. It's just not a very good movie, and it feels like it's trying to copy or derive itself from previous films like After Hours, like similar films closer to After Hours, and it just doesn't give you the same amount of satisfaction as films like After Hours and other films that are close to that type of nature. This film is filled with chaos and underworld fucking criminality, but none of that feels validated when the credits hit. I was so happy when the credits hit, not because I love the movie, I wanted to talk about it with you guys, but because I didn't have to watch the movie anymore. So very rarely do I feel like that. And this movie, like I said, isn't the worst movie of the year, but it's a 2 out of 5, 4 out of 10, 40 out of 100. It's just not a good movie, and not much of it is noteworthy. And that sucks because not only do I like the filmmaker, but I like the whole cast. I think Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz are really, really talented and beautiful people. So it's like, I want to like this movie, but I just couldn't. And to me, that is a disappointment, and that's one of the major reasons why this movie is disappointment. The score was off. The soundtrack wasn't good. Matt Smith is in this movie. I really like him from House of Dragon. He's not really good in this movie. A lot of the stuff in this movie is unrealistic and fails to make me suspend my disbelief enough to forget about the unrealistic things happening in this movie. So that's another problem. The way this movie ends is stupid. And also another problem. This movie is set in 1998. You can't tell that until they say they're going to Shea Stadium, which, if anyone who doesn't watch sports knows, that is the Mets' old stadium, Shea Stadium. They no longer play at Shea Stadium. They play at Citi Field. So that's the only reason why I knew this wasn't set nowadays. Besides that, you couldn't convince me this was not a movie set in the 2020s. The only other thing would be everyone had flip phones, but that's about it. This did not feel like a world that was 1998. It felt like 2000s or 2010s or 2020s. So it was like, that also fails. The world in this movie fails to immerse me, and ultimately, just because the filmmaking is above average, because of how great of a director we have in this movie, everything else fails to impress and it fails to immerse you. I wish I liked this movie. It was honestly a movie I was looking forward to. The trailers weren't that great, but I was like, hey, Austin Butler, Darren Aronofsky, Zoe Kravitz, this stacked cast, Griffin Dunn from After Hours. Maybe that's why people are comparing this to After Hours, because fucking Griffin Dunn's in it. But that's lazy. Just because Griffin Dunn is in this doesn't mean that it's fucking After Hours. After Hours is one of Scorsese's best works. Yeah, man, this movie did not work. The comedy didn't work. The action didn't impress me. And honestly, the most interesting part of this movie was Zoe Kravitz and Austin Butler's relationship. They had really great chemistry. It's pretty easy to see why they did. They had great chemistry, and I was interested in that relationship, but that relationship ends abruptly, and it's just ridiculous. I'm not going to get into spoilers about this movie. This movie was not good. I'm seeing a lot of positive ratings for this movie that I just do not agree with. So, hey, watch this movie, form your own opinion, and come back to this video and let me know how you feel about it. Or just trust my opinion because, hey, I'm trustworthy. I'll give you my honest truth every day of the week when it comes to film because, hey, I love films and I love talking about films and I love being honest about the film I just watched. And when it comes to this film, this is one of the biggest disappointments of the year. Darren Aronofsky, please make a better movie next time out because I was not a fan of The Whale. I'm not a fan of Caught Stealing. I want to see something like The Wrestler again. Maybe Darren Aronofsky is just meant to make movies about dread and sadness and emotional overbearing situations in the life of the world we live in. Maybe he's just not meant to make fun and chaotic movies like he tried to do here because this was a miss. This is a 2 out of 5, a 4 out of 10, a 40 out of 100. This was a disappointment. I hate to say that, but hey, it's your boy Matt Talks Films. I am making a sports channel, Matt Talks Sports, which is dropping, a video should be dropping on that channel by midnight, talking about two divisions, one division where Micah Parsons was just traded from, so that should be good. Hey, a lot of movies coming out in September, a lot of classics being reshown in Regal Cinemas, man. Like, that's what I'm excited for. My birthday is September 11th, 2001. Maybe one day we'll talk about how crazy that birthday is, but The Thing is coming out on September 11th, 2001. My birthday. So I am looking forward to seeing that in theaters. Goodfellas and Taxi Driver come out the day before. Sign me up. If you don't know about this, get Regal Unlimited so you can see all these classics in theaters for the first time. Casablanca, 2001 Space Odyssey. Those movies are coming to theaters this month, and you can see it for free if you have Regal Unlimited. How crazy is that? So there will be a few videos about those movies. We also have PTA movie coming out. We also have The Long Walk with Philip Seymour Hoffman's son and David Johnson from Alien Romulus, who I really like. So we got some fucking packed schedule for you guys. And also I'm starting a sports talk channel. So if you love sports, follow me over there. It's been your boy Matt Talks Films. I wish Caught Stealing was a better movie, but it just wasn't. I'm just being honest. Follow me everywhere at Matt Talks Films. Subscribe, like, comment here. I'll see you next time.